welcome to, I was about to say the Remix Morning Show. God help me. Jeez. Hopefully, I don't have no lipstick on my teeth today. It's not the Remix Morning Show. In fact, this is Burn It Down with Kim Brown because you are on the BIDWKB, a platform. This is a place where we set oppression ablaze and we slap people in the teeth if necessary, only if necessary. We don't advocate violence, but a lot of people do need to be slapped in the teeth. So, I mean, we'll leave it on the table. How's everybody doing? Thank you all so much for hanging around, joining us despite our belated start time. Thanks. I see y'all in the chat. What's up, Swery Ferry? What's up, 2Fs? I think I saw you in out that jump. So thanks everybody. Come on in here. We appreciate you guys joining us. That I can't fucking read. I think that says Chichi Matcha. What's up, Chichi Matcha? Come on in here. Give me some likes, y'all. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already. We're not going to bojangle. We're going to get right into the program, guys. Now, there was a lot of directions that I was contemplating going into today. I do have a story, this story from Jamaica. I really want to get y'all's take on this, and I'll get to that when we get to it. But let me go ahead and get started because, first of all, I don't know if y'all knew this or not, but I was phoneless for a month. I was phoneless for a month. I could go through the whole story. We're not going to do that because y'all don't need to know all them details. It was interesting times being sans phone, right? And not, most importantly, not being able to be connected to social media. But the only real social media platform that I pay attention to is YouTube and TikTok. But TikTok tells me things. YouTube don't tell me shit. YouTube just gives me a bunch of mainstream news outlets, basically, and Black Liberation Media, right? But YouTube don't be telling me a fucking thing. TikTok tells me everything. And TikTok not only tells me everything, but TikTok tells me everything going on around the world. TikTok right now, unfadable. But I happened to catch a trending topic, and by the time I got a phone, by the way, shout out to Patrick S. Shout out to Kayla. Shout out to Trey D. Thank y'all for running me some bucks towards the phone. I sure appreciate it. But by the time I got all hooked up back on my apps and shit, I had almost missed, I think, this trend. It was Black fatigue. Now, who has Black fatigue? Well, apparently the whites have Black fatigue, but they actually don't have Black fatigue because the racist whites don't really know what the fuck Black fatigue is, in the same way that they intentionally, I guess, misinterpret and bastardize the term woke and quote wokeness. Because I guess the racists want to stay asleep. It's so weird how they just say it with chest. Oh, the woke crowd. Oh, so if we, I guess, are the woke crowd, then what are y'all, the fucking sleep crowd? Like, what's the opposite of woke? It is asleep. It might as well be fucking dead. But anyway, we move on. So anyway, Black fatigue. What Black fatigue actually is the experience that Black people, particularly in this country, have from dealing with the racist experiences that we get on a micro level, on a macro level, ranging from being followed around the CVS because you went in there to buy some deodorant and they think you in there trying to steal all of the miel, all of the African Pride products. No, I'm just in here to get some deodorant. Is there a reason I'm being harassed here and followed? So it can range from that kind of exhaustion from being Black in America to the macro, right? To being stopped by police for what? To being harassed by the state for what? Simply because you are Black, going to healthcare providers and getting substandard care. Why? Because you're a Black and you're exhausted by all that. I feel Black fatigue quite regularly. I call it generational Black fatigue because I feel as though I am generationally exhausted. I am experiencing exhaustion that my great-grandmother, my grandmother, my mother felt. I feel that, right? So, but of course, the racist whites never know what the fuck they're talking about. So now there's this trend that was being discussed by the illustrious types such as Matt Walsh. Woo, that's little dick energy, isn't it? Every time that motherfucker cracks his mouth, I said, sir, I said, how are we pleasuring ourselves with our index finger and our thumb? Matt don't even put lotion on his whole hand. He put just that shit on his index finger and his thumb and get to work. You hate to see it. Anyway, but by the likes of Matt Walsh and these other fucking dickheads. And let me give you a little example, because when I went on TikTok, I'm like, where are the racists talk about this black fatigue? Let me find them. So many videos had been deleted. Now, I don't know if these creators deleted these videos themselves or TikTok took the initiative to, take out the trash. I'm not really sure, but I was able to find one that had been stitched by a creator that I do like. So let me give you an example of how the racists continue to fuck up the slang, to never get the jargon or never even get the basic explanation or definition of things correct, because they feel as though they don't need to get it correct. I guess I don't fucking know, but anyway, Will, go ahead and run that clip for me, please.
Black fatigue is real. I think society as a whole is there. We are just so unbelievably fed up with the ghetto ratchet behavior, entitlement, the victimhood. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. She'll be watching her back for the rest of her life. Yeah, because that's not thuggery, hood rattery, animalistic. This is why people have black fatigue. When you act like this, it's not normal behavior.
So I had not initially seen these.
There we go. Okay, shout out to that second creator, because I do follow her. She does have good content. But the first lady, that first white lady, racist white lady, let me be specific here, but that racist white lady who complained about the ghettoization and the animalistic and the thuggish behavior is someone that you obviously know was educated in American public schools, because they don't have a concept of what their people, specifically when they came to this continent, did that was animalistic, in terms of spreading smallpox, in terms of enslaving children, in terms of R-wording kids, because they love to talk about Christopher Columbus, but don't ever want to talk about the kind of man that Christopher Columbus actually was. So all of this thuggery, this alleged thuggery that is ascribed to Black people, there's no way. Let me tell you something. Whatever amount of thugging that racists believe that Black folks are out here doing, it is a drop in the bucket compared to what your ancestors did, okay? And maybe not even your so distant ancestors. For all I know, her ancestors could have been marching in the Third Reich, right? Don't talk to me about thuggery and animalistic behavior. Don't talk to me about ghettoization. But it's always white folks, racist white folks, with limited knowledge and honestly, it's a limited desire to know about the real history of Europeans and what Europeans have literally done to Black people and people of color around the globe. It is the real genocidal acts. It is the real dehumanization. And white folks in America have a real bad habit of putting on what they think are I guess I can't say if they think it's their own creation. Like, for example, the way that some white folks got on Beyonce for doing a country album. Well, that's not Black, that's white. No, bitch. In fact, Black people created country music. In fact, Black people created rock and roll music, the rock music that your parents loved, the Jimmy Pages, the Led Zeppelin, the Rolling Stones. All of them stole the way, y'all. I think I've told you guys this. First of all, I don't have no issues with white folks' music, but I do have issues with theft and stealing, right? And the whites that are held up, for example, in the rock music genres are the ones that did the biggest stealing, right? The Rolling Stones, the Beatles, even to my crestfallen disappointment of Pink Floyd. You guys, the first time I heard the song called Down by the River, and of course the man's name escapes me in this moment when I need it the most. And maybe my mama's watching and she'll text me and tell me, Mama, who sang Down by the River? Down by the River was a song released in 1969, I think just 2 years before Pink Floyd released Dark Side of the Moon. And I heard this song by this black man. I said, no. I said, when did this come out? When I found out the song came out before Pink Floyd, I said, even my favorite whites be stealing. Even my favorite whites be out here stealing. The shit made me so mad. But when we talk about, I'm sorry, I'm gonna get back to my point. But my point is, when I hear racists complain about black culture, black vernacular, black style, black aesthetic, it just cracks me the fuck up. Because at what point have white folks in America never not wanted to assume the presentation of black people? We see it so prominently in for example, the Kardashians, right? The Kardashians, the most famous white folks in America, have gone out of their way, have spent umpteen millions of dollars to augment themselves, to make themselves, give themselves the attributes, physical attributes that are ascribed to black women, right? Why they keep chasing these black men down and determined to make sure that they are having all these biracial children. Why? Because I guess the whiteness has lost its touch. It's lost its feeling. They want to make sure that they are mixing up their gene pool with the negroids because they're trying to get away from white. Why do these white women spend countless hours in the tanning booths? Why do you put silicone injections in your lips, in your ass? Why if not to want to look like black women, or to try to contour yourselves into looking like black women? And of course, that's not all white women. There are plenty of white women who are very comfortable and happy to be white, and you should be, and be yourself, enjoy yourself. But it is the ones that will point the finger at so-called black ghetto culture, at young black girls or even older black women who color their hair blue, pink, purple, and will call that ghetto. But the same white women or artsy fartsy white girls or whoever will color their hair purple, pink, and etc. And they're so expressive. And look how well she expressed herself. And it's just this diabolical double standard that black folks are in fact tired of. And I saw another since deleted video from a white creator who was very excited to talk about black fatigue, his or their misinterpretation of black fatigue, and how this white man said for 40 years, he said he's been so tired of black people and their celebrations of their culture and their heritage, with your Martin Luther King holiday, with your Juneteenth, with your affirmative action. And he felt so free to be able to say that he was exhausted and weary by having to listen to black people big up ourselves, celebrate ourselves. And to be clear, y'all, it is a personal antagonization, right? Like, nobody bothered you, Mr. Racist White Man. You just can't stand to see black folks hear themselves, celebrate themselves, express joy with themselves. I'm sorry. Well, you're going to have to talk to me, man. I don't, what is this? This is too many words for me to read on the fly and talk at the same time. Come in here. What's up? What, I got boobs hanging out? What's wrong? Will, what's up? Adios míos. Okay, I can't say. Working to get what? To get back up. Oh, the show. Are we down? Are we off the air? Can you hear me? Can you just tell me, should I keep talking or should I stop talking? I have no idea what's going on. Jesus Christ. Chat, I have no idea. Can someone text me and tell me if we're up or down? I do not know what's going on.
You back up. I'm back up. My internet was down.
Oh, okay. How long were we down?
You weren't down. It was just me. So I have to get all of the stuff back up.
Okay. All right. I don't feel like talking about this anymore. Let's move on to the next joint. Sorry, y'all. I'm for some reason I'm very easily derailed. Like anyway, I used to be able to maintain a train of thought. Apparently not any longer. I will attribute that to perimenopause. But anyway, fuck the racist is my point at the end of the fucking day. SMD. Moving on. So my next story, we are going to the island of Jamaica, and I want to give content warnings and trigger warnings for this story because it does involve the tragic death of a young girl who was preyed upon by a known abuser in the community. Okay, now I'm trying to debate, should I even tell y'all exactly what happened? Because in some ways, this story does have, there's nothing happy about the way the story ends. However, let's say that the young woman's memory was absolutely vindicated, right? Revenge was swift and immediate against the man who harmed and tragically killed this young girl. But the way the community responded, I appreciated. And even the way the police responded, I appreciated. And even in spite of the way I feel about those that prey on women and girls, and I want very bad things to happen to them all the time, right? I was a little, I did have sort of like a philosophical conundrum when I found out who exactly was the one who came and served justice, like universal justice, spiritual justice, karmic justice upon this predator. So we're going to look at several clips here. And shout out to TV Jamaica. It's pardon my bad accent. And you're going to, oh, by the way, guys, heavy patois in these clips. Okay. So if we have some patois translators available in the chat, because I have a feeling some of our folks may not be able to follow all of the conversation. I mean, shit, I cannot even follow all of the particulars in the vocab and the everything that's being said, but you will absolutely get the gist of what is being communicated. So there's going to be a couple of news packages. I even included some local Jamaican content creators. They had comments about it again because it seemed as though the whole island was talking about what happened to this young girl, and rightfully so. And even the man who harmed this young girl, his mother came out on some G shit, and I appreciated it. So let's take a listen to these several clips. Everybody, again, content warning, trigger warnings, because this does involve child sex abuse and the unaliving of a young girl. So let's take a listen.
There was not a dry eye in sight.
That's not the right clip. Can we play them in order?
All right, hold on one second. I got the other order. That's the first one on the dock. So you want that one played?
That's not the right clip.
All right. I'm gonna just pull up all of them.
That's the last one I have.
That's the last one.
Because there should be 5.
So, all right. I got.
So the headline says Jungle Justice for pedophiles or PDF files.
Right. Now, very first.
And then the very first clip says TVJ reporter report about.
Yeah, if you click on that, if you click on the doc and click that link, that's what that go to.
I don't see how that's possible because I like that. Okay. I don't. So why don't you tell me, why don't you play what you have first? Like in the order that I have it on the doc.
Okay. So that was, I'll just play what I got in order on the doc. Okay.
There was not a dry eye in sight at 50C Job Lane in Spanish Town, St. Catherine.
Nope. Because that should be the last one.
So what?
The classmates, right? Is that?
No, that's if you look on the doc, and that's the order that this is in. So that's not the first one. I'm gonna just play all of them, and you just tell me which one. I'm gonna just pull up the ones I got, and you just tell me which one you want to play first.
So the first one should be a TVJ. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Tell you what, this is getting.
Darlene Williams went to identify her deceased.
Tell you what, it's fine. Don't worry about it, y'all. I'm gonna bring y'all this story on Tuesday, okay, gang? No worries, because this is falling apart. So listen, gang, I appreciate y'all. We'll see y'all back here on Tuesday. Y'all have a good evening. Deuces.